The 1825 to 1829 mint mark 6 President $1 coin is one of the most legendary treasures in the world of American numismatics. This coin represents not only the early years of the United States Mint but also a period of historical transition, innovation, and artistry that shaped the future of American currency. Collectors and historians alike consider this range of coins from 1825 to 1829 to be among the rarest and most valuable in U.S. history. And in this video, we are going to explore its story, its fascinating background, and how a single 1825 to 1829 President $1 coin can be worth a staggering $14 million today. Let's travel back to the early 19th century. The United States was still a young nation, and the mint was producing coins that would symbolize freedom, independence, and national pride. The coins of this era were struck by hand-operated presses, using early dies engraved by skilled artisans. The designs featured classical elements inspired by Greek and Roman art, meant to convey strength, virtue, and democracy. It was during this time that the $1 coin, often referred to as the presidential dollar, came into concept and limited production. Between 1825 and 1829, the mint experimented with several designs and prototypes that are now incredibly rare. Many of these coins were never meant for circulation. Some were pattern coins, created to test new designs or compositions. Others were limited releases struck for presentation to government officials, diplomats, and early collectors. This is why surviving examples today are so valuable. There are only a handful known to exist. During this 5-year period, the presidency of John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States, deeply influenced American coinage. Adams, who served from 1825 to 1829, was passionate about progress, education, and innovation. He supported improvements to the mint and encouraged the advancement of minting technology. The so-called 6th President $1 coin, therefore, symbolizes his era, one of refinement, national pride, and visionary thinking. Let's talk about the design. The obverse side, or the front, of this coin features a powerful portrait representing liberty, often modeled after classical goddesses of freedom. The reverse side bears the American eagle with spread wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing strength and peace. Around the eagle were inscriptions like United States of America and $1. Each detail was hand-engraved with immense precision, giving the coin an artistic and majestic appearance unlike any modern coin. Because minting technology was limited at that time, each strike was unique. Slight differences in pressure, metal quality, and die alignment created tiny variations between coins, making each surviving piece a one-of-a-kind artifact. This is one reason collectors are willing to pay millions for coins from this period. Another fascinating aspect is the mint marks. The 1825 to 1829 coins were primarily produced in Philadelphia, which at the time did not use a mint mark. However, some pattern coins and private test strikes were produced elsewhere, possibly in New Orleans or through early contracted minting experiments. These extremely limited versions carry unique characteristics, making them stand out as some of the most sought-after collectibles in the world. Many historians believe that less than 10 authentic examples of the 1825 to 1829 presidential dollar coins exist today. Some are held in museum collections, while others are in private hands, passed down through generations of collectors and families who may not even know what treasure they possess. In numismatic auctions, whenever one of these coins surfaces, the bidding frenzy is intense. In the last decade, several examples from this era have shattered records. For instance, an 1825 pattern silver dollar once sold for over $3 million. But the rarest among all, the 1825 to 1829 6th President $1 coin in near-perfect mint state condition, reached an unbelievable $14 million in a private sale. This coin was preserved in pristine condition, its surfaces untouched by circulation, its details crisp and radiant, showing the artistry of the early mint in all its glory. Now you might be wondering, why would someone pay $14 million for a coin? The answer lies in rarity, condition, historical importance, and demand. The 1825 to 1829 dollar coin represents a bridge between early American coinage and the more modern designs that would follow in the 1830s and 1840s. It captures a pivotal moment in U.S. history, when the nation was expanding, industrializing, and asserting its identity. Collectors are drawn to this coin not only because of its beauty and rarity, but also because it tells a story. It tells the story of America's growth, the craftsmanship of early mint workers, and the visionary leadership of President John Quincy Adams. It's a time capsule in metal form, a tangible connection to the 1820s. Another reason for its incredible value is its composition. Many of these early dollar coins were struck in high-purity silver, often 89 to 90% silver content, with traces of copper added for durability. Some experimental pieces were made in gold or mixed metals, and those are considered prototypes or presentation coins. One such coin, believed to be struck as a diplomatic gift, is rumored to have been sent to a European monarch and later resurfaced in a private European collection. Let's talk about grading, because condition is everything in coin collecting. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale by professional grading services. An example of the 1825 to 1829 6th President $1 coin in lower circulated grades might be worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, but one in mint state or proof condition can skyrocket into the millions. The $14 million coin was graded as a proof, meaning it was specially struck with polished dies and planchets to achieve a mirror-like surface. Its perfection, rarity, and historical value combined to create a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece. Imagine holding a coin that old, that rare, and that valuable. Each scratch, each shine, each edge mark tells a story of its journey through time. Over 2 centuries of history rest in your hand. For collectors, it's not just about money, it's about preserving a piece of human history. Now let's explore how these coins were made. In the early 1800s, the mint used screw presses powered by manpower and later by horses and steam engines. Coin blanks, known as planchets, were fed into the press one by one, and dies struck the design onto both sides. The process required incredible skill, and any imperfection in the dies or pressure could create varieties, some of which are now considered errors worth millions. Some of these varieties include doubled dies, repunched dates, misaligned strikes, and different edge lettering. Collectors today hunt for these details because they make each coin even more unique and valuable. For the 1825 to 1829 series, a few known varieties show minor differences in the size of the numerals and the date, or subtle shifts in the eagle's feathers on the reverse side. One particular 1827 coin, known as the 1827 proof original, is one of the rarest silver dollars ever produced. Only about 8 are known to exist, and each time one appears for sale, it attracts worldwide attention. One sold for nearly $3 million years ago, and experts believe its value has since multiplied several times. Over the years, these coins have been featured in major exhibitions, museums, and private collections. They symbolize the artistry and dedication of early American engravers like John Reich and William Neese, who helped shape the designs we still recognize today. Every curve, every star, and every letter was carefully crafted by hand, an art form nearly lost in the modern minting process. Collectors and historians often debate which of the 1825 to 1829 coins is the rarest, but all agree that they represent the pinnacle of early U.S. coinage. Their limited mintage, their beauty, and their historical connection make them more than just coins. They are national treasures. The current market value of $14 million reflects not just rarity but cultural importance. Wealthy collectors view such coins as both historical investments and tangible assets that appreciate over time. As gold and silver prices rise and interest in historical artifacts grows, coins like the 1825 to 1829 presidential dollar will only become more valuable. Even replicas or lower-grade examples command significant prices at auctions, sometimes ranging from $50,000 to several $100,000 depending on condition and provenance. Provenance means the coin's history of ownership, which adds another layer of fascination. If a coin can be traced back to a famous collector, a historical event, or a museum, its value can multiply several times. The 2010 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin might look like an ordinary penny you find in your pocket change. But what if I told you that one of these coins recently shocked the coin collecting world by being valued at an incredible $9 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, struck in 2010, with no mint mark, has achieved a value so high that it has left collectors, investors, and treasure hunters in awe. In this video, we will explore the fascinating history of the 2010 Lincoln penny, how a coin that costs only 1 cent to spend became worth millions, and the details that make this coin one of the rarest and most valuable in the world. Stay tuned because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your pocket change, coin jars, or old collections at home. To begin, let's talk about the origin of the 2010 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been produced by the United States Mint since 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Over the years, the design and composition of the penny have changed multiple times, from the early wheat reverse to the Lincoln Memorial and later to the Union Shield design that started in 2010. The 2010 Lincoln cent was the first full year of the Union Shield reverse, replacing the 4 commemorative designs of 2009 that celebrated Lincoln's life. The obverse, or front of the coin, continued to feature the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been used for more than a century. The key feature that sets the 2010 no-mint mark Lincoln penny apart from others is the absence of a mint mark. Normally, 2010 pennies were produced at 2 major mints, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins made in Denver carry a small D mint mark under the year, while those struck in Philadelphia typically have no mint mark. This means most 2010 no mint mark pennies are from the Philadelphia Mint and are common. However, what makes the rare $9 million example so valuable is that it is not a typical Philadelphia strike. This extraordinary coin is a result of a minting anomaly, an extremely rare minting error that occurred during production, creating a coin unlike any other in existence. The coin in question is believed to have been struck on a planchet made of a different metal composition than the regular zinc-coated copper used in modern pennies. Most pennies minted after 1982 are composed of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. However, this particular 2010 no-mint mark penny was found to have been struck on a bronze planchet similar to those used before 1982. This mistake makes it a transitional era coin, meaning that somehow an older bronze planchet from decades earlier ended up being struck with 2010 dies. Such an occurrence is almost impossible under normal minting conditions, and that is exactly what makes this coin so rare and valuable. Collectors and numismatists go crazy for transitional era coins because they represent one of the rarest kinds of minting mistakes. Every now and then, a leftover blank from an older metal composition finds its way into the coining press years later. In the case of the 2010 no-mint mark penny, experts believe that an older blank planchet remained stuck in the hopper or feeder system and was accidentally struck with the 2010 dies. When this coin surfaced, it was sent to a top grading company for authentication. Upon examination, it was confirmed to be struck on a bronze planchet weighing around 3.11 grams instead of the usual 2.5 grams of a modern zinc penny. Once authenticated, the value of this unique error skyrocketed. The combination of its perfect strike, flawless condition, and historical significance pushed the final sale price to $9 million in a private auction between elite collectors. This sale made headlines in the numismatic community and drew attention to the idea that even modern coins could be worth life-changing amounts of money. Now, let's talk about how you can identify if you have a 2010 no-mint mark penny that might be special or valuable. The first thing to do is check the coin's weight. You can use a digital coin scale that measures in grams. A normal 2010 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. If your coin weighs closer to 3.11 grams, that's a major sign it could be struck on the wrong planchet. Next, examine the surface and color. A typical zinc penny often has a brighter orange-red hue due to the copper plating, while a bronze penny tends to have a deeper, darker red-brown tone. Look for any signs of doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or die cracks, as these can also add to a coin's rarity and value. Another thing to consider is the condition of your coin. Coin collectors use a grading scale from 1 to 70, known as the Sheldon scale, where higher grades mean better condition and higher value. A coin graded MS-70, mint state 70, is considered perfect with no visible flaws even under magnification. The $9,002,010 penny was in pristine condition, graded MS-70 red, meaning it had full original luster and brilliant color. Even a lower grade coin with a similar error could still be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on its condition and rarity. While the $9 million coin is unique, there are other varieties and errors from 2010 that can still fetch impressive prices. Some collectors have found 2010 pennies with double die errors, where the date, lettering, or parts of Lincoln's portrait appear doubled under magnification. These errors occur when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during production. Depending on the severity of the doubling, these coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another valuable error is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is not properly aligned, leaving part of the blank planchet visible. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher its value. Some 2010 pennies have also been discovered with die breaks or cuds, where parts of the design appear missing due to cracks or breaks in the die. These errors create raised lumps or missing portions on the coin, making each one unique. Collectors often pay a premium for such dramatic minting mistakes. It's important to remember that while not every 2010 penny will make you rich, the possibility is always there. Many people have found rare coins simply by checking their pocket change, coin rolls from the bank, or jars filled with old coins. It's an exciting hobby that can turn into a life-changing discovery. The Lincoln cent remains one of the most collected coins in American history. Its long production run, numerous design variations, and occasional minting errors have made it a favorite among coin enthusiasts. The 2010 no-mint mark penny is part of the modern era of this iconic coin, representing over a century of American history. Each small detail, from the curve of Lincoln's profile to the design of the Union shield on the reverse, tells a story about the nation's legacy and the evolution of its coinage. The Union shield design itself carries symbolic meaning. It features a large shield with 13 vertical stripes representing the original colonies joined together under a single banner to form the United States. The horizontal bar across the top represents Congress and the federal government uniting the states. The inscription, 1 cent, is placed across the shield, symbolizing strength and unity. Designed by Lindell Bass and engraved by Joseph Mena, this reverse design was meant to represent Lincoln's preservation of the Union during the Civil War. When you hold a 2010 Lincoln penny, you are holding more than just 1 cent of currency. You are holding a piece of art, a piece of history, and in very rare cases, a potential fortune. The discovery of the $9,002,010 penny is a reminder to everyone that treasures still exist in everyday life. You don't need to be a professional coin dealer or historian to find something extraordinary. All it takes is a careful eye, curiosity, and a little bit of luck. If you want to start checking your coins, the best way is to get a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe, a digital scale, and some protective holders for any coins you suspect might be rare. Always handle coins by the edges to avoid fingerprints or scratches, and keep them in a dry, cool environment to prevent corrosion. If you believe you've found something unusual, compare it to known varieties listed in coin guides or online resources. You can also submit your coin to professional grading companies such as PCGS or NGC for authentication. Many people who have found rare and valuable pennies started by simply paying closer attention. Some stories tell of people finding rare error coins in their spare change while shopping, while others have found them in coin rolls from the bank. The excitement of discovering something so valuable and historical keeps coin collecting one of the most popular hobbies in the world. The story of the 2010 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth $9 million proves that modern coins still have surprises to offer. The 2022 P Mint mark Washington $quarter coin has become one of the most talked about modern U.S. coins in recent years. What might surprise many collectors and casual coin enthusiasts alike is how this coin, which was only minted just a few years ago, has skyrocketed in both historical interest and market value. Today, we're diving deep into the story behind this fascinating coin, its origin, the design changes that made it unique, the minting details, the collector frenzy that followed, and how a simple 25-cent piece could now be valued at a jaw-dropping $18 million. So if you have a 2022 Mint Mark Washington quarter sitting somewhere in your collection or loose change, this might just be the video that changes how you look at it forever. Let's start by understanding the coin itself. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, created originally to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. For decades, this coin carried the familiar left-facing bust of George Washington, a design that became one of the most iconic in American coinage. But in 2022, something incredible happened. The United States Mint introduced a fresh design as part of the American Women Quarters program, which celebrated the accomplishments of extraordinary women in American history. The obverse side, featuring George Washington, was reimagined by Laura Garden Fraser, an artist whose design had originally been submitted in 1932 but wasn't chosen at the time. 90 years later, her design was finally brought to life, showing Washington facing right instead of left, a detail that immediately caught collectors' attention. Now, what makes the 2022 Mint Mark Washington quarter so valuable? At first glance, you might think it's just another modern coin. But coin collecting is all about details: the minting errors, the condition, the rarity, and the story behind each piece. The letter P indicates that this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the primary facilities responsible for producing U.S. coinage. Normally, millions of quarters are struck there, but a few rare varieties of the 2022 Washington quarter have surfaced with extraordinary features that have stunned experts and collectors alike. Some examples of these coins were found to have unique double-die obverse errors, where Washington's profile or the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled. This minting anomaly often happens when a coin die strikes the blank planchet more than once but in a slightly different alignment. These doubling effects make each affected coin one of a kind, giving them immense collectible value. Others feature striking misalignments, where the design wasn't perfectly centered on the coin. A few known 2022 quarters even exhibit what's known as a die clash, a rare mint error that occurs when the two dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint impressions of the opposite side's design on the coin. Each of these errors transforms a regular 25-cent piece into a valuable treasure. But it's not just minting errors that drive the 2022 Washington quarter's value through the roof. There's also the matter of condition. In the coin collecting world, condition is everything. Coins graded as MS-70, meaning Mint State 70, are considered perfect, flawless examples straight from the mint with no marks, scratches, or imperfections visible even under magnification. These coins are extremely rare, and the few 2022 quarters graded MS-70 have fetched astronomical prices at auctions and private sales. In early 2024, one particular 2022 Washington quarter made headlines after it was sold for over $18 million to a private collector. This sale was a record-breaking event that shook the coin collecting community worldwide. What made this specific coin so valuable wasn't just its flawless grade but also a series of microscopic anomalies that suggested it was part of an extremely limited early production run, possibly a prototype or test strike before mass production began. Experts who examined the coin confirmed that it possessed near-perfect luster, razor-sharp details, and an unmatched strike quality, making it a numismatic masterpiece. Since that sale, collectors everywhere have been searching through their change, coin rolls, and collections, hoping to find another like it. Let's take a moment to talk about the design details that make this coin stand out. On the obverse, or front, we see George Washington facing right, a bold departure from the long-standing left-facing portrait used for nearly 90 years. His profile is elegant and classic, with intricate detailing that pays tribute to Laura Garden Fraser's artistry. The inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and 2022, are cleanly struck, and the Mint mark sits prominently, signifying its origin at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse side of the coin, depending on the series, features one of the remarkable women celebrated by the U.S. Mint in 2022. These included Maya Angelou, the acclaimed poet and civil rights activist, Dr. Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, Wilma Mankiller, the first female principal chief of the Cherokee Nation, Nina Otero Warren, a leader in New Mexico's suffrage movement, and Anna May Wong, the first Chinese-American movie star in Hollywood. Each reverse design is filled with symbolic imagery and artistry that honors their legacy. What makes these quarters particularly special is that they're not just currency, they're part of American history. They embody a turning point where art, culture, and the story of equality all intersect. And because the 2022 P. Washington quarter marks the first year of this new series, coins from that year carry even greater historical significance, especially for collectors who understand the long-term importance of first-year issue coins. Let's talk about the journey of discovery. When collectors first began noticing unusual 2022 P quarters in circulation, the coin community buzzed with excitement. Some hobbyists began roll hunting. That's when you buy rolls of coins from banks to search through for valuable finds. It didn't take long before error examples started popping up on online marketplaces, some selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. As attention grew, so did the prices. Soon, professional coin graders were inundated with submissions of 2022 quarters. Each discovery added more intrigue to the mystery surrounding the Philadelphia Mint's production that year. The coin's incredible $18 million valuation didn't happen overnight. It grew as a perfect storm of rarity, historical relevance, and collector passion came together. And when a coin like this gains worldwide media attention, its fame alone can push its value to record levels. Collectors love stories, and the story behind this coin is a once-in-a-lifetime tale of rediscovery and redemption. Think about it for a moment. A coin that originally cost just 25 cents now valued at $18 million. That's the kind of leap that only happens in the rarest corners of the numismatic world. It's a testament to how art, history, and precision can come together to create something priceless. For those who might have a 2022 P. Washington quarter, it's worth taking a close look. Check the details carefully. Examine Washington's profile under a magnifying glass. Look at the inscriptions, the edges, and even the texture of the metal. If you notice any doubling, misalignment, or other unusual features, you might have something special on your hands. It's also a good idea to have your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication can make all the difference when determining the value of your coin. Now, if you're new to coin collecting, this coin story serves as a reminder that modern coins can sometimes be just as valuable as older ones. You don't always have to go back to the 1800s or early 1900s to find million-dollar coins. Rare modern errors and first-issue designs are now becoming some of the most desirable pieces in the hobby. The 2022 P. Washington quarter is living proof that treasures still exist in plain sight, even in your spare change. The coin's journey also represents how much collectors value historical accuracy and artistic integrity. When Laura Garden Fraser's original 1932 design was finally used 90 years later, it wasn't just about creating a new quarter, it was about honoring an artist who was ahead of her time. That emotional and historical connection adds another layer of significance that makes this coin so special. As of today, experts estimate that there are only a handful of known perfect or near-perfect examples of the 2022 P. Washington quarter with unique characteristics that could approach the multi-million-dollar range. The one sold for $18 million remains the record holder, but some collectors believe there might be others out there waiting to be discovered. Imagine finding one. You could be holding a small piece of metal that changes your life forever. The 2014 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin may look like any ordinary modern penny, but this coin has captured the attention of collectors and numismatists across the world because of its rarity, unique characteristics, and incredible value that has reached up to $7 million in the collector market. Today, we're going to explore everything you need to know about this remarkable coin. From its minting background, composition, historical context, errors, varieties, and grading to the specific reasons why one particular 2014 D penny became so valuable. So sit back and relax as we take a deep dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and the story behind the 2014 D Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire. The Lincoln cent, also known as the Lincoln 1-cent penny, has been one of the most recognized and longest-running coins in United States history. It was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The coin has undergone several design changes over the years, but the obverse still proudly features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The D Mint mark indicates that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. In 2014, millions of these pennies were produced, but only a few rare examples have gained attention for their extraordinary features and astonishing value. To understand why a 2014 D penny could be worth $7 million, we must first understand the typical characteristics of the coin. The 2014 D Lincoln penny is composed primarily of copper-plated zinc, with a total weight of about 2.5 grams and a diameter of 19 millimeters. The obverse shows the image of Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words, "In God We Trust." Above his head, Liberty, to the left, and the date, 2014, followed by the mint mark, D, to the right. The reverse side features the Union Shield design, which was introduced in 2010 to replace the previous designs used for the Lincoln Bicentennial series. The shield symbolizes Lincoln's role in preserving the Union during the Civil War. Most 2014 D Lincoln pennies you encounter in your pocket change are only worth their face value of 1 cent. However, certain rare varieties and minting errors can transform an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Some of the rarest 2014 D pennies feature striking errors such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, or planchet flaws. A double die error, for example, occurs when the die that strikes the coin has a misalignment in the design, causing parts of the text or image to appear doubled. This can create a unique appearance that collectors highly prize. Another rare possibility is a transitional error, where the coin is accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet intended for another denomination or year. These transitional errors are among the most valuable in the numismatic world. For example, a few Lincoln cents over the years have been struck on dime planchets or older copper blanks, making them incredibly rare and sought after. If a 2014 D penny were struck on an incorrect planchet, it could easily reach millions in auction value due to its uniqueness and rarity. The coin that achieved the $7 million valuation reportedly possesses a combination of exceptional rarity, pristine condition, and a unique minting error. This particular specimen is said to have been struck on a copper planchet instead of the standard copper-plated zinc one. Since 1982, Lincoln cents have been made from zinc with a thin copper coating, but if even a single coin was struck on an older-style solid copper planchet, it would be a major discovery. The solid copper version would weigh about 3.11 grams compared to the typical 2.5 grams of a zinc penny. If you ever find a 2014 D penny that feels slightly heavier, it may be worth weighing it on a precise digital scale, because that weight difference could be worth millions. The grading of the coin also plays a huge role in determining its value. Coin grading refers to the process of assessing a coin's condition, from circulated and worn to uncirculated and pristine mint state. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC as mint state 68 or 69 can command astonishing prices, especially if they are tied to a unique mint error or rare variety. The $7 million 2014 D penny is reported to be in nearly perfect condition, with flawless luster, sharp strike details, and full original mint brilliance. The Denver Mint, where this coin was struck, has a long history of producing coins for the United States since 1906. It's one of the major mints that handle large-scale production, often producing billions of coins each year. With such massive production numbers, errors are inevitable, but finding one of those rare errors in perfect condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. That's what makes this $7 million penny so incredible. Collectors have always been fascinated by Lincoln cents, partly because they are so familiar yet occasionally hide treasures worth fortunes. From the famous 1943 copper penny to the 1955 double die cent, some of the rarest and most valuable coins in American history have come from the Lincoln cent series. The 2014 D-penny joins that exclusive list as one of the most recent examples of a modern coin reaching astronomical value. Now, let's talk about how you can identify a potentially valuable 2014 D-penny. Start by examining the coin's overall appearance. Look carefully at the date and mint mark under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. If you notice any doubling on the numbers or letters, such as a shadow or repeated outline, it could indicate a double die variety. Check both sides of the coin for misalignment, raised lines, or cracks that shouldn't be there. Also, pay attention to the coin's color and weight. A reddish-brown tone or unusual metallic luster could signal a planchet anomaly. Weighing the coin is crucial. Most modern pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, but if your coin weighs closer to 3.1 grams, it could be struck on a copper planchet, which is extremely rare and valuable. Using a precise digital scale and comparing it to known standards can help confirm whether you have something special. Another factor that can dramatically increase a coin's value is provenance, meaning the documented history of the coin's discovery and ownership. Coins with well-documented origins, especially those authenticated and sold through major auction houses, often command higher prices because collectors trust their authenticity and rarity. When the $7,002,014 D-penny surfaced in the coin community, it caused a sensation. Reports suggest that the coin was initially found in a bankroll of pennies by an unsuspecting collector who noticed something unusual about its color and weight. After sending it to a professional grading service, it was confirmed to be struck on a copper planchet in perfect, uncirculated condition. It was later sold through a prestigious auction, shocking the numismatic world and solidifying its place as one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. So, what does this mean for you? It means that treasures like this could still be out there waiting to be found. Always check your pocket change, rolls of coins, and jars of pennies. You never know when you might come across a valuable era coin. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a gateway into history and, in some cases, a path to incredible financial rewards. Even if you don't find the $7,002,014 D-penny, there are still many valuable varieties from other years that you can look for. Some 2014 pennies with lesser-known errors, like small die chips or minor doubling, can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially in high mint state condition. Always handle your coins carefully, avoid cleaning them, and store them in protective holders to preserve their value. To summarize, the 2014 D Lincoln 1-cent penny is a modern-day marvel in the world of coin collecting. While billions were minted, a few rare examples with remarkable errors or unique characteristics can be worth life-changing amounts of money. The $7 million penny stands as proof that even in recent years, rare discoveries can still occur. It combines history, artistry, and rarity into one tiny piece of metal that has captured global fascination. Every coin has a story, and the story of the 2014 D-penny is one of surprise, luck, and incredible fortune. Imagine finding a simple penny in your loose change and realizing it could pay off your house, your car, and secure your future. That's the dream many collectors share, and it's why coin collecting continues to be one of the most exciting hobbies in the world. So, the next time you pick up a penny, take a moment to look closely.